Morning everybody, hope you're having a good Sunday morning. I woke up today and I was thinking about shadow sides. The parts of us we all have, but typically the part of ourselves we deny. And our shadow sides tend to be the wounded part of ourselves, or the shameful parts of ourselves that we pretend don't exist, or that we're embarrassed by, or we don't accept in ourselves. And we all have these parts of ourselves that we think for whatever reason we have to hide. So is it because we fear if we let people know that we think like this, or we feel like this, or we've been through something, are we going to be judged? Will people see us differently? Will they scorn us? But what's most important is how you actually see your shadow side. So the shadow side can also be seen as your inner child, and for some of you, you'll be familiar with that concept. Still got lurgy. And the inner child is the part of us we all carry, but it's the experiences that we've had in childhood that we might have had a traumatic experience, we might have had a shock, we might have had an upset, but actually if that part of us doesn't get dealt with back then we carry it forward with us in our lives. And then we start to give ourselves all kinds of messages about why that part of ourselves isn't good, and we mustn't show anybody that part, but actually it really affects us to carry those wounds and not to acknowledge them. So how I am trying to work on myself and with those around me at the moment is learning to embrace that shadow part, that fearful part, that bit that you might deny. And we're in a very rapidly changing world at the moment. We are moving through from 3D up to 5D so rapid, it is pulling everybody's stuff up. Because at 3D, where these parts of ourselves could survive and thrive, these parts of ourselves, as the vibration of the planet and the world and ourselves is being forced to elevate rapidly. Those parts of ourselves that we didn't integrate or accept in ourselves or love in ourselves, give permission to have, be empathic to oneself, those bits are coming up to be shone, so that we are totally aware of them, so that we can do the work on them now. But it's not a comfortable process. People are struggling, and that's okay. It's okay not to be okay. That why did this thing from 20 years ago that I thought I was all right with come up and it's really not? Or actually I'm hitting rock bottom with something that I didn't even know I carried. Or what is this feeling I'm carrying that I don't know what it's about? I've got no cognitive memory, but I have an emotional or a body memory of something, and it's working with it. A really common way of how people have managed to suppress the shadow parts, or the bits that they're not comfortable with. So shadow doesn't mean it's a bad part. It's the way we see it that labels it as bad. It may not be bad. Is to struggle with addiction. It can be addiction of anything. Gambling, sex, alcohol, drugs. I've struggled with alcohol addiction for most of my life. It's not something I shout from the rooftops, but it's my shadow side that I'm going, why am I not shouting that from the rooftops? Why do most people not know this about me? Because I was so functional. Thought that was clever. It wasn't. It held me back because I was able to keep going with it. And now, by working with that on myself, I'm facing my shadow side. What has that alcohol been suppressing since I was 12 years old? So it's okay for these strong emotions to come up in people. It's what you do with them. Do you squash them back down again so they become that shadow that you carry with you? Or do you allow them, embrace them, connect with them, and start to love those parts of self that maybe you didn't before?